Hello. Welcome to today's stream. Oh, I gotta adjust my chair. I'm very excited for today's stream. We got some fun things planned. We're gonna do a book haul first, and then we'll get into working on the reading journal and our setup for September, and I'm very excited for this setup. Oh my gosh, I forgot my stickers for this setup. I'll grab them. I'll get my husband to grab them for me. But that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be so fun. I'm very excited. One sec. But that's what we're gonna do on today's stream. If you guys are new to my streams, I also post daily bullet journaling content on my Instagram, which is also L.I.L journaling, and then I also have a YouTube channel with all my previous streams, and I'm starting to put my reels on there as well. I'm sorry about not being able to do stream last week. I had a wedding. It's in there. Next to the cart, love. Sorry. But I had a wedding to attend to, but I have streamed this week, and we will be doing one next week, and that is when we'll be working on a fall bucket list type thingy. So yeah. I'll be right back because I need to grab my sticker book because I need it for today's stream, so give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So sorry about this rocky start, but that's okay. So, let's get into the book haul that I am quite excited about. So, I'm gonna grab all this pile of books. So, a couple things with this book haul is essentially where it came from is I'm a college student and I can't bring all my books up on the plane up here all the time, especially when I first moved to college. And so my family has been kind enough to start bringing me books as time goes on. And so this book is here. As they have brought me books, I've been able to add them to my collection. So this is kind of that type of haul. So, funny story though is that when they do bring me these books, it's more of like trying to fit as many in a box or a container to bring to me, instead of like, oh, we'll actually send her this whole series. So a lot of the books I get are just like one book in a series and not the rest of it, even though I own the rest. So let's look at what we got. First, we have this book, which is Hotel Valhalla Guide to the Norse Worlds. This is by Rick Riordan, and he wrote it as a companion guide to the Magnus Chase series. I really liked it. It's got a lot of fun stories. I really love his companion books that he writes that are just like, here, let me tell you about Greek gods and Greek stories or Norse and Kane Chronicles and stuff. All great. I really like this one. I have read it. Next, we got this. This is Remade. I don't know if it's just an excerpt or the whole... No, wait, this is just episode 1 of, I think, 15. But it's kind of a series. It's called Remade. It's kind of like an apocalypse type thingy. I haven't read it much, but I got it in L.I.L crate a while back. It's an easy read. Might be on my upcoming TBR. Next is another comic that I am obsessed with. It is called The Tea Dragon Society. I also got this in an L.I.L crate. And it's just like one of those cute, good vibes comics. And in the back, they have all these little dragon boys and like what kind of tea they are. And it's really cute. So I'm a little obsessed. That one's cute. I need to get more of those comics. I forgot I had it. Now, these next two are only the second and third book in this series, but it is Titan's Curse and Battle of the Labyrinth, but in comic book form. So we got our nice Percy Jackson as a comic. I think I've flipped through it, but I haven't directly read it because, I don't know, some of the pages characters look a little whack. Like Apollo looks whack. Nico looks how he should look, even if I'm not the biggest fan of how he looks because he's a tiny nerd, but he also is like a small boy in this book, so it makes sense. So I do kind of need to read these. He looks more like Nico in this one. He's got his emo outfit on. 10 out of 10. Next is Calvin and Hobbes. I really liked these comics when I was younger, so I got some of their comic books, strips. And yeah. Next is, this is a book from my childhood. It's called The Best Loved Doll. And I had a favorite doll when I was younger, so this book kind of just reminds me of it. So I've kept it over the years just because it has good sentimental value. Next is The Short Handbook for Writer. It is a short book, but it's a kind of thick boy. And I haven't read through it. I probably should, but also take some things with a grain of salt because some of these rules probably have changed. Because that's how it is with English. It changes a lot. It's kind of annoying, but that's how it be. Next are some Beatles books. When I was younger, I had a Beatles obsession. I still love their music, 10 out of 10. And these are some books I got for Christmas, but I never read them because I'm like, I don't read nonfiction. That's garbage. But now I'm happy I still kept them though because I'm kind of more okay with nonfiction, and I think these will be some interesting reads. One is called Ticket to Ride, so it's about one of their world tours, and the other is 100 of the best Beatles songs, so this one looks interesting. Next I also had a Doctor Who obsession as a young girl. So I have 2 Doctor Who books. This one just has all of the characters up to the 11th Doctor. Gotta angle this right. And this is the 50th Anniversary Essential Guide. And it talks about all the episodes and important characters and people and the companions and doctors and stuff. So these are great. However, I haven't been as much into Doctor Who, so I might unhaul these and sell them on Pango Books. And Pango Books essentially is just like a thrift store app that you can get on your phone to sell and buy books. You can get books really cheap. You can sell them on there. Really easy to sell, so that's probably what I'm going to do with these. And speaking of Pango Books, I did get a book. I bought a book off Pango Books. It is stamped by Jason Reynolds and Ibram X. Kendi. I hope I'm saying that right. But its subtitle is Racism, Anti-Racism, and You. And I trust Jason Reynolds as an author big time. He's great at starting these conversations about racism, and I like his books because they are targeted towards kids who aren't in great situations, and they're like, hey, how do you deal with if your family member gets killed in a gang fight? What do you do? Like, do you continue the trend? Do you not? What do you do when you've been a victim of police brutality, or if you see someone who you trust as a policeman hurt somebody else? Like, do you consider police brutality? These are good books. They're great at like just starting that conversation and teaching you about I'm white. Teaches me a lot about how black people are dealing and living in this world. And I think it's a good way to see the other side of things, because that's not a viewpoint I get. So, and I trust Jason Reynolds. He's a 10 out of 10 author. Next, Fault in Our Stars. A nice John Green book right here. I remember reading this at like my freshman year of high school. And my friend and I went to see the movie together, and since we went on opening night of the movie, we got signed posters. I don't know where my poster is, but I do have a signed poster, and it's pretty great, so yeah. Now this book is called The Hearts We Sold. This one tore my heart out, literally, tore it to shreds. Golly gee, does this book hurt. It does not make you okay. You're not okay after reading this book. I got it in Owl Crate. it has a nice little signed book plate thingy, but this book is so good. If you need like a good book that's like cute romance, heartbreaking ending, this is the book for you. And I keep saying heart-wrenching and heartbreaking because that's exactly what it does, because it's called The Heart to Be Sold. Yes. Next, when I was younger, I think in middle school, my library was cleaning out and getting rid of a lot of books, and since I helped in the library, I got first pick. So, ooh, thank you VMQNS for following me. I appreciate it. But they were cleaning out all their books, and I stole Nim's Island in hopes of reading it one day. I have not yet, but I will at some point. It's a good book to have. Next, this book is a victim of being separated from the rest of the series. So, it's the second book in the Beautiful Creature series. I remember seeing the movie, and my friend was getting rid of her books. She had the first two, so she gave them to me. This is the second one. The first one is still at my childhood home, and I am waiting for it to join so I can actually read the series. But it's a nice thick boy, and I'm kind of more inclined to read it now that I'm a little older and I'm used to reading more and bigger books. This is Scythe. It is the first book in the series. This book is so good. I don't think I have the rest of the series, but I want to finish it and eventually get the rest of it. I had to read it for a class, and y'all, this was a good book. This one is a nice quality dystopian. So, good read right there. Next, the final book in my haul is Castle in the Air by Diana Wayne Johnson. It is also only the second book in the series, because my first and third book are still at my childhood home. Why can't I think of that? But this is the second book in the Howl's Moving Castle series. If you know the Studio Ghibli film, they do have a movie called Castle in the Air. It is not the same as this one. Howl's Moving Castle is the one you want to watch and then read this series. This book has an Aladdin-like beginning, essentially, and then near the end you kind of get an update into Howl and Sophie's life and like where they've been since book one. So it does take place in the same universe. You still get some Howl and Sophie from book one, but they're not the main focus of the book. So yeah, and that is it for my book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I was very happy to get all those books. The only issue I have now is where the heck am I supposed to put them, because I have limited spacing and I'm already out of room. So we'll see how that goes. But you guys came here for bullet journaling content mostly, so let's get into that. Thank you for the heart and chat, Sita Marie. I'm glad you're watching today's stream. Okay, so today's reading journal spread is going to be my September monthly setup, and so I'm going to use the Happy Planner Fall Sticker Pack, which I have also been using in my normal September bullet journal setup. I'm going to use my King Art dual tip brush pens. This is my palette for September in general, so I'm going to use it here. Thank you, Sid Marie, in the chat. And then I am also going to be use this MAP Graph Peps Extra Fine Point 4 pen. And I kind of got this, I don't know where I got this, but I have it, and I need a nice black pen. And if you guys do follow along with the spread, you don't need this sticker pack. I will give alternatives to the stickers I'm using and stuff. I just rely on stickers because I can't draw. I can do that type of thing. I just can't draw, so that's what we're doing. Golly gee. Okay, let's get into it. So this is going to be a 2-page spread. And this is going to kind of go back to how most of my spreads would start out with this bookshelf design, where it's going to kind of be like this one with a nice big bookshelf design, and I'll have the page-a-day tracker on one side and the books that I'm working on the other side. So page-a-day, books I'm working on. So let's get into it. I'm just gonna quickly make some notes here on like my setup so I know exactly what I'm doing and I don't forget. Okay, let's do this. So, if you guys are following along, one of the main things is I'm going to make this bookshelf design, and I'm going to use some clear stickers to make it look like there's leaves and plants carved into the bookshelves. So if you don't have stickers to do that, I suggest making your bookshelves a lighter brown and then doing the leaf designs in the bookshelf to make it look like it's carved in a darker brown. So I suggest doing a lighter brown first. But let's do this. And luckily, since I'm using both pages, I can just kind of like do all that. It's easier to do this middle section. I have had the most fun working on my September setup because I worked on that this week so that it would be ready in time for September this past week, and I had a lot of fun making it and using the Happy Planner Fall sticker pack because I've waited a year to use it because I got it in like Christmas time, and I'm like, well, I can't use this until it's fall, so I'm very excited about that. Quite excited that I've been able to use it and like use all the cute stickers. It's been so much fun. And if you guys couldn't tell how excited I am for fall, I'm definitely not wearing like those burgundy fall colors with a flannel. That's the word. Wow, my brain isn't working. But yeah, I'm very excited for fall and doing all the fall things. I don't though. I was thinking about doing like a fall only TBR and being like, okay, what are some fall themed books I want to get and read? But that's just not my vibe. My TBR is more of like following just whatever I'm in the mood for and whatever books I want to read. Like I got a whole new stack of books and I've read most of them, but not all of them, so I do gotta get reading. And on the 30th of this month, two very important books for me come out. So the first book is The Final Gambit, which is the third book in the Hawthorne Legacies, or not Hawthorne Legacy, that's the second book, the Inheritance Game series. So the third book is called The Final Gambit. It comes out on the 30th. I am quite excited to get it. My husband let me order it and stuff. So hopefully that comes right on Tuesday so I can start reading. But that is one of my main books on the TBR for September, is making sure that I read that. And then the other book is, if you guys are keeping up on Instagram, I finished reading this book called Forestborn. And it was on my TBR at the beginning of August. And essentially it's like there's a disease only affecting humans and not like the magical forest creatures of the world. And so they go on an adventure to the most like magical place in their world to like find the only cure and that type of thing. It's a great book. It has enemies to lovers in it. And boy, was that a great plot for me. I was obsessed. It was great. But the final book and second in its duology, Wild Bound, comes out also on the 30th of this month. And essentially, when I finished Forestborn like earlier this week, I texted my husband and I'm like, hey, I have a dilemma. There are these two books and like these series that I want, and I finished both of the other books in this series, and I've been kind of waiting for both. Like, I want the resolution for both of them, but I know it'd be like a little too much to spend on both of them, and I don't want to like spend so much money and all that jazz. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? I can't decide on one or the other. And he's like, get both. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, what? They'll be like, what, $30 each? You could get both. And one thing is that, like, I'm kind of glad that he assumed that they were about $30 each, because then when I told him the real price, they're like, oh, that's like way cheaper. What the heck? Because I pre-ordered both of them, so it was like, I think it was $30 in total, or 25-ish, because the Final Gambit paperback pre-order was like $10, and then Wild Bound was, it might have been 20. I'm not sure, but 15 to 20. Either way, I got them both. They will not arrive until probably Tuesday, so keep a lookout on Instagram for when I get them, and that is also probably when I'll binge read both of them. And I will also live with the dilemma of like, which one do I read first, because I've been waiting for Final Gambit, and I kind of like, that knowledge of what's happening may not be as fresh, but I want to like hold on to it while I still have some knowledge left. But then I also just finished the first book in the Forestborn series, so I finished Forestborn, so I'm like, I should read Wildborn because it's freshest in my head, and I don't know. Maybe I'll read them both at the same time and stress myself out and be in a state of confusion. This brown is dying on me, and I'm a little sad, as you can kind of see. It's not doing so hot. And this is making me quite sad. Okay. But let us continue on with this spread. So I counted the lines in my book, and every 5 spaces I'm going to do a nice little brown line to act as a shelf. I want plenty of room on my shelf so that when I write the titles and stuff, you can actually see it. And luckily, it's my favorite thing ever when notebooks line up on both sides. Like, let me tell you, I've had a good couple bullet journals where like the dots didn't line up, so when you like looked at the calendar, it was always just like slightly over and down, like as it went across the page, because I do my calendars on 2 pages usually. And it was always so annoying because I'd always have to like, usually with these lines going across, I wouldn't have to count like both times on each page, but on pages that don't line up, you do, and it's quite annoying, and then your spreads look slightly awkward and uneven because they don't line up. So yeah, I'm glad these ones do. Okay. So, okay. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure there are 30 days in September, but I always mess things up, so I'm double checking. So this side will be my page a day. And we're going to start from the bottom up. And essentially we're just going to make clusters of books within these 3 colors. And since it's my page a day, they don't really need to be that thick, but I might do it just to fill up space. And if there's 30, divided by 5 is 6. So about 6 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 6 books a shelf will be enough to add up to 30. So I might make them nice big long books, high in stacks, and then I'll have some books that are colored in around so it looks filled. So yeah. I'm just gonna pop these open because I'll be switching through them very quickly. I'm just kind of doing this at random so it looks cute. And then some of the stickers I do have will act as decoration within the shelves, so I will leave space for that. Oh, hello. I almost dropped something. Ooh, let's chat about my September bullet journal, because it is in an 8x8 spread. So, pretty sure my normal bullet journal is like an A5 size. I'm not exactly sure, but it's like a normal size. But that's the one I have been using and had my most recent August spread in it. But my journal that I'll be using for September is an 8x8 from Archer and Olive. And I'm excited about it, but I don't know. It's been a little interesting just because. Let's start here. It's just been interesting because the pages are so big, so I have all this room to put all this stuff I want, because if you guys know me, I do fill up my pages quite a lot. And so I have all this room to put all this, like, to fill up my weeklies with my habits and my to-do lists. And since I'll be starting school again, it has all that. However, I did do like a big Dutch door thingy, and so I cut my pages in half. So I'm not using them to their fullest, but I kind of am. But it's been kind of difficult to use them because now there's a little too much space. So I'm just making my boxes bigger when I'm like, oh, you actually have room for the decoration you've been dying to do, and you're not even gonna do it. Okay. So that's kind of how it's been for me. I've been struggling with it, but eventually I'll get used to it. Okay. This is my page a day side. We're gonna do some stuff here. There's 30, so the next thing I'm gonna do is, now that I got all my books drawn, I'm gonna write in 1 dash for all of them, so then I could write the pages I read. And I'm doing it in black, just so that it's visible no matter which one I use, and then when I've added how many pages I read that day, I can color it in and fill in the rest of the bookshelf. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm only putting in 6 books for each of these, so that like these extra books I'll color in afterwards, by the way. So I got all of these dated. Here's a little closer look so you can see the colors a bit better. Yeah. So now I'm going to color in all the books that don't have a number in it. Ooh. So, last weekend I watched the movie Tales of Princess Kaguya, I think is how you spell it. It's a Ghibli movie, and it is based off the Japanese tale of the bamboo cutter. And I really liked it. It had It has a more traditional art style, I think. At least it looks more traditional to me. And I think that's what's considered, but I'm not sure. But it's not your typical animation style and that type of thing. But I really liked it. It made me quite sad. It had quite a sad ending. And it was good, it was cute, it was heartfelt. It very much touched on the ideas of like being happy with what you have. And it definitely had that early 2000s Disney Channel vibe of like, it's not my dream, Dad, it's yours, and the parent forcing the kid to fulfill their dream. It definitely had that vibe. And so it was kind of funny that I'm fulfilling that young early 2000s childhood. I'm fulfilling that void of watching this movie again. Anyway, it was a really good movie. I liked it. It was sad. There was like one part in the end that I was like, that's a little weird, where essentially the main character has like a childhood crush, and they were like best friends and super cute together when they were younger. And she like, and he's like, he has a kid, he has a wife, and he's ready to drop it all just to be with her again. And I'm like, dude, that's not okay. You can't just ditch your family for this girl. Even if she was like your childhood crush, whatever. But yeah, that was the only weird thing. Also, I mean, this isn't really a content warning, but I will say that like there is some nudity in it, but it's like, it's just like, oh, it's a little kid it's like a cartoon like baby, and they're like in ancient old Japan during some dynasty, I'm not exactly sure. But it's during that time, and they're living on a farm, so like they don't have a lot of fabric. So it's not like bad nudity, it's just like, oh, this is natural body stuff. Or a mom will whip out her boob to feed her child and stuff. That's about it. So I gave out that warning just in case people do care. I didn't really care for it because it was more of like, this is just how things are. This is natural. So yeah. Okay. All of these are colored in. Now we gotta do some decorating. So essentially, I gotta find the right stuff. So I'm gonna use some of this page because it has these words, so I'm going to use these two colors because I'm not going to use blue and green, to kind of add these maybe to some books that are just like, some of them say cute things like pumpkin spice. One of them says appointment. I don't know what to do with that one because I didn't use it in my other journal. And then, not that. So I'm going to take some of these pumpkins and mugs as I see them and plop them on the shelves. And they got these cute little hedgehogs right here. And I'm also going to plop those boys on the shelves. And then I'm going to use these clear leaves on the case, like the bookcase itself, to kind of give it a cute design. So I'm also going to write pages per day first. But yeah, let's decorate. See, these ones I like because it's like, says once upon a time on a book and a mug. It's gonna look so freaking cute. Let's do this. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. We're gonna take a red mug. and plop it right there in the shelf. And then let's do a pumpkin actually. We're gonna put a pumpkin right there. And I don't know, I have like a lot of drinks. I leave my drinks on my shelves. We can put a baby pumpkin with it, you know? You get like, for Halloween and fall decor, you get a couple like different sizes of pumpkins or other fall things like leaves or whatever, and you have different sizes and you put them on the shelves together because it gives it layers and stuff. Ah, that's cute. I like this. Okay, wait, not done. I need these boys. And so, basically, I'm going to take like this yellow one and pop it down here, up here. And essentially, can't see it super well, but if you come a little close, oh, you can't see it. I can see it. Here, I'll try a different color. Let's grab this red. Okay, this one I can see real well. But you put it on the bookcase here, so it kind of looks like it's carved into the bookcase. And so, if you don't have these transparent stickers, essentially what I would suggest is taking a darker brown or darker shade than your bookcase color and like doodling in some leaves and stuff. But I'm just adding a couple along these edges just to give it some cute fall vibes. And I have some bigger leaves, so I'm going to have them kind of cross between both. And if they get on your books, that's okay. It still kind of looks good. And I'm going to do this side as well. While I'm at it. Oh my goodness. Sometimes stickers are really hard to get off. Golly gee. When you got stickers that cross pages or over the binding in the middle, I suggest putting it like halfway down and then using your nail to kind of rub it in and then having it lay on the other side, because then it lays a little bit more flat. just going to fold the excess leaf over. Okay. So let's bring it up nice and close. You can kind of see some leaf bits here and there. I can see them a little bit better on my end, but like they just kind of look like they're carved into the wood. So I like that vibe. And then I take these. Pumpkin. The only issue with these is that they usually end up sticking together. So you pick up one and you get like 20. I call that pumpkin spice. That's the name of that work. You know what this book is called? Burr. And then this one is called I Love Fall. And this one will be called Exciting. But yeah, that's how I'll use those. Give some books some titles. I think I need one over here. It looks uneven. We're gonna say OMG for funsies. But yeah, that looks cute. This is our first half of the spread. I like the way that looks a lot. Okay, time for the second half. And this one is just going to be my reads for the month. So we're going to talk a little bit about my TBR. And essentially, I'm going to, each shelf will be a different book. So I got 5 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. I have 5 books on my TBR, so I'll have the title here, maybe one of more of these goodies, and then I'll have books kind of representing that I'll color in as I get certain pages into the book. Okay, back to doing this. I dropped a lid. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Got the lid. Okay. Let's get into this. Okay. First book. Now most of these are continuations from last month because I mostly just focused on the library books that I had. So if we look at August, I finished Dark Hills Divide, 1,000 Steps Into Night, The Color of the Sky is the Shape of Your Heart, and Forestborn because they were my library books and I was more excited to read them. So Winter's Promise, Indivisible, Planted, and House of Leaves didn't get much love. House of Leaves also is a library book and I have to return it, and I'm not that interested in it. I may come back to it, but this is not one I'm going to finish right now. So I will be coming back to that one later. But Winter's Promise, Indivisible, and Planted will be on this list, along with The Final Gambit and Wildborn, because they're the 2 new books I'm getting and I've been dying to read. So yeah. Oh, I need to do one thing first. Okay. I need to make a list of how many books each of these need on the shelves. Now, Final Gambit and Wildborn, I will just do as many books as I can and make those full shelves, like this one right here, and then I can fill it in later once I have those books. But these ones I'm going to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. 10. So I need 11 for Indivisible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 for Planted, because I also need one for the cover. And 21 for Winter's Promise. So luckily these books don't need to be too big and that type of thing. Okay, Indivisible. This would be the title one. Sorry. Okay, so Indivisible shelf is complete. Yo. Okay, Winter's Promise might be difficult because that's 11 books right there, so these ones got to be a bit thinner. And we're going to actually start with a stack. I've been wanting to read Winter's Promise because it looks like a really good fantasy and it's a series, and I've been needing some more series in my life because I've just been, that's okay. Because I've just kind of been living without them. I mean, I have the two that I've been talking about, but like, I haven't had like a nice good series that I can just keep reading through. Like most of the books I've read recently are just one and done, and it makes me sad because I want more of these books, or I want more of these characters, and I just can't get it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. But, so I do want to definitely get more into Winter's Promise this month. And with Indivisible, I've been like reading a couple pages a day here and there recently just because I still need to, I want to keep up with my reading, even though my brain's still like, I just want more Forestborn, like give me more of that, please. That's all my brain wants, but I must keep reading other books. I just need one more book. Okay. Now I have enough on this shelf. Squeeze them in. But, my brain just wants more of that, but I want to keep up with my reading and still get through the books that are on my TBR. So I've been struggling a bit there. Also, the thing with Indivisible is, as I'm reading it, it's just making me real sad. Golly gee. Because the purpose of Indivisible is that it just focuses on, like, this kid whose family, like, immigrated to America illegally and kind of under the radar. But they kind of established their life here. The kids were born in the U.S., so the kids are technically U.S. citizens and stuff. And one thing that really hit me hard recently in this book is the parents have been taken away by ICE, and they're under trial because, like, you're here illegally, and that's not good. And I get that, and they're like, one of the main reasons the parents could stay is if there was if they were needed. If they needed to be here to, like, care for their children in an extreme circumstance. And that hit me hard because the fact of just leaving the kids in the U.S. is not an extreme enough circumstance to have the parents stay. Technically, like, by what ICE says in the book and what I've learned, having your kids in the U.S. isn't an extreme enough circumstance to have the parents stay. So the parents can still get deported, but the kids will stay, and that's just how it is. And it makes me real sad because I'm like, how is that not an extreme enough circumstance? We know there's a lot of things wrong in America, and one of them is, like, the foster system. And taking away these kids' parents is not a good thing. But that's what they might be doing. They might, Child Protective Services is after them. And I worry that what'll happen is, if Child Protective Services do get them, they'll just send the kids to, like, a foster family or a foster home, and that's that. And this book is making me so sad. Like, I can barely get through it without being, like, wanting to cry, because I'm like, why would they? Okay, I totally get, like, we don't want people coming here illegally, and I do understand that the system to become an American citizen is very difficult, and all that jazz, but I'm like, y'all go quite hardcore on some of these families. This book is just getting to me, and I'm very worried about how we'll end. And I want a happy ending, but it doesn't seem like there's one that's gonna happen. Also, thank you. Said I'm glad it looks good. This shelf right here was Wildborn, so I just gave it I just filled it up all the way. And then this shelf is planted, so I only need the 9, and then I'm gonna use these more as decoration books. And this last one is going to be for the final gambit, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to fill it up all the way. But Indivisible is a book that is currently stressing me out like there's no tomorrow. And that's, like, I like reading books. I love reading my books. I like learning things. But one thing to, like, guarantee I'm gonna set this book down for a while is if there's something really awkward or, like, embarrassing and I get extreme secondhand embarrassment, then I'm like, I gotta set this down. I need to come back when I'm ready and to accept the secondhand embarrassment. Or I'll set down a book if it's just too sad for me. and I like have to come back later because I am quite depressed with whatever is going on in that book. So, Indivisible is my current example of quite depressing book. Also, there are some leaves here that are sticking out a bit more on this side, so I've just kind of like had the lines, I'll zoom in, let me cap my markers real quick. But I just kind of had the lines stop at the leaves, and I think that looks fine. But this right here, look at that. It looks like it's just carved in the wood, and it's my favorite. Okay. So these books were mostly decoration, so I'm gonna color them in real quick. This one's supposed to be orange. And then for Wildborn and Final Gambit, if I did more books than necessary, I'll color in the ones that I don't need. Okay. Now, some of this, some sticker time. These boys. I know what I need to do. I need to do something for this one specific sticker. Yes! Perfect. I'll give a close-up in a second. But we got these two little hedgehogs. They're kissing. They're being cute together. And they're just hitting on the books. They're hanging out. I love it. It's so cute. And I really like the vibes of this because it's just like, this is just a decorated bookcase spread. Like, that's all it is. And I'm going to put Rainy Day on the book. That's what it says. That's why I like this spread, because it's like the bookshelves you like either see on BookTube or the ones you decorate. It's just like, oh yeah, that's how I decorate my bookshelves. I have my trinkets, my little and stuff, and I put them on my shelves with my books to make things look cute and all that jazz. So I got this. And you have some books sticking out and all that jazz. And one thing, when I had my childhood home, one of the things I always had on my shelves was there was a plastic skull I got from like Joann's. It was white, and it was on my Shakespeare shelf, because obviously. So that's one thing I always had on the shelves and stuff. So I really like the way this looks. Let's fill it in with the books I got. And I'm going to take a picture of this other page real quick so that I can use it to fill in this one. So first one is Indivisible. one, I have an extra book. I'm going to color him in, and we're going to color in the title book. And I'm actually going to add a sticker right there. Yeah. Because I like using stickers, and you can't tell me what to do. This one says OMG. There you go. Bam. Okay. This next shelf is Winter's Promise. Okay. And like usual with these, I do it in 25-page increments, so each book is, I've read 25 pages in this book, and so as I read those 25 pages, I'll color them in and stuff. Because I have found that, at least for me, if I want to get myself like some reading done, without overwhelming myself or being like, I hate that I'm still reading this or getting bored, just doing 25-page increments. And then within those 25 pages, sometimes I get a burst of like, oh, I need to keep reading or finish this chapter, or I need to know what happens next, so it keeps me going. So. And I overcalculated on this one too. That's kind of weird. But you know, it works. I get to color in another book, and I get to add another sticker, because that's all I like doing. I love adding stickers. It's my favorite. This one, we'll say, keep going, because this is a big boy. So I skip a shelf, and this one is for planted. Okay. I hope I didn't miscalculate on this one. I did miscalculate on this one. Weird trend, but okay. There's already a book with words on it, so we'll leave it at that. Okay. Let's take a nice look at this spread. So on this side, we have the pages per day, so there's a book for everyone, about 6 days per shelf. We got some shelf decor and some stuff carved into the wood of the shelf, so it's kind of hard to see. It says bird, pumpkin spice, I love fall, and exciting, and OMG. And then on this side, we got a shelf for each of the 5 books I want to read this month. More carvings into the woodwork around. We got these cuties right here. I love them. And then this shelf is for Wildborn, and this one is for the Final Gambit. I'll at least write that in so I remember. Not Wildborn, Wildbound. And this is Final Gambit. If you guys are also reading any of these books listed, let me know, because then we can chat about them on like Instagram or something. So message me there so we can have a good time and chat about the book and what our thoughts are. And if you're reading the Final Gambit, you gotta tell me who is your favorite of the 4 grandsons, because I'm a Grayson guy. I like Grayson. He's pretty great. And if you're reading Forestborn, Wildbound, Wesley, oh my man. But yeah. Okay. I'm gonna pop here into chatting mode while I transition for our journaling prompt for the evening. So for those of you new to stream, because there is Cinnamon here, shows that she's a first-time chatter. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here today, and I appreciate your support in watching my stream. So, the way we end every stream is that I take out my lovely personal journal, and we are going to do a journaling prompt, and then I give like the last 10-ish minutes for you guys to write, and I'll have my journal on screen so you guys can see kind of how I decorate and write in my journal using the prompt and stuff. So I'm very excited about that. Let me get the link. And if you don't like today's journaling prompts, I do have all my previous ones that I'm going to put in chat. So if you click that link, you'll get to see all my previous journaling prompts. So if you don't like today's one, you can look at one of those. It also has my Instagram, this Twitch, and my YouTube on there. So if you guys are interested in that. So I got my lovely jar. It's my journaling prompt jar. I've showcased it on Instagram. And the journaling prompts are color-coded, so any red ones I get are more spiritual-based, the blue ones are about me, and green ones are for more writing about your memories. So that's the type of journaling prompts. And if they are spiritual, I always, because I'm a spiritual person, I'll write spiritual stuff. But if you aren't, I try to make sure rewrite the prompts in the chat so you guys can kind of write them to fit you guys more if you are not. So we got a green boy, and green is memories. So today we're going to be writing about a memory. And it says, a good memory with your mother. Ooh, what are the odds? So that is today's journaling prompt. Before I get started, let's take a quick, here, we'll move these somewhere else. Those don't fit there. So, that's today's journaling prompt. Opening up, this was yesterday's journaling, that's what I did. So, journaling prompt, a good memory with your mother. I'm using this pen that I normally use, the Zebra pen. Golly gee, has this one survived forever. I also got these pink and purple mild liners to journal with, and some stickers that I've had, so yes, so you guys know the prompt. I'm going to stop talking and get journaling. You guys are free to journal long. I encourage you to, because it's a good way to kind of, one, hold on to these memories, like such as a good memory with your mom, but it's also a way to kind of get to know yourself and kind of help yourself mentally, I would say. And so this is what I'll be doing. I hope you guys join me in it, and I'll talk to you in about 10-ish minutes about what I journaled about. Okay. If you guys are still writing, keep going at it. I'm just gonna quickly talk about what I journaled about and then wrap up stream. So the prompt was a good memory with your mother. And the thing I focused on is more of a collection of memories and kind of how they all ones that connect. And that is just that she has brought on this love of books for me and literature. And so kind of talked about the first book she kind of read to me that I remember her reading is Beauty, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And she would read it to me every night. And at first I was like super bored with it because I'm like, this is a big book. I'm a child. I want pretty pictures. Because, I was like 5 or whatever. But she kept reading and I loved that book and it was so great. And then, so I kind of talked about that. And so I listed here some other books that she either gave me or got me into, like Percy Jackson, Fault in Our Stars, Howl's Moving Castle, and The Inheritance Games. And then I also said, like, I can thank her for my love of fantasy and romance. She kind of helped me with, like, literature, sex ed, because when I first read Fault in Our Stars, she's like, okay, we're going to have a chat about this sex scene that's coming up and stuff. And then she's kind of helped me enjoy reading. She always has good book recommendations, and just kind of how she always knows exactly what books to read. She ignited my love for reading in the first place, and when I went through a couple of years just in a reading slump, she gave me Inheritance Games, and that book reignited my love for reading again. So I can thank her for that. I wrote thanks, Mom, here at the bottom and stuff. So yeah, I can thank her for my love of reading and the fact that I get to make today's reading journal spread and share all these lovely book haul with you. So thanks, Mom, if you're still watching. I knew you were. But that is going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to rewatch it or you're only here for part of it, it'll be on Twitch for a little bit, but usually they tend to delete videos after a while, which is kind of annoying. So those are all going to be on my Instagram. So if you click that Google Doc that also has all the writing prompts, it has my YouTube, which where all my other Twitch streams are. You can also go on my Insta for daily bullet journaling content, and I also give lots more reading updates throughout the month and that type of thing. And don't forget that next Saturday at 2 p.m. I will be doing another stream as usual, and we will be doing a fall bucket list spread because there's some stickers in this pack that are fall bucket list themed, and I kind of want to use them. So that's what we'll be doing. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and I will see you again next week.